It was raining acid that night on Outpost D9, a mining settlement on the edge of the carven expanse. The air shimmered with static and the sound of metal groaning beneath the wind. Elias Wren, a field mechanic and scavenger, trudged through the storm with his respirator humming. He had been repairing a broken relay near the perimeter fence when his motion scanner pinged. At first, he thought it was another malfunction. The harsh weather often threw false readings. But then he saw her, curled up beside a drainage duct, drenched and trembling, was what looked like a child. But as he approached, he realized she wasn't human. Her skin was translucent, pale with faint veins of light pulsing beneath it. Her body was completely hairless, and her eyes, large, luminous, and silver, reflected his flashlight-like mirrors. She wore no shoes, no clothes, just a thin metallic wrap barely holding together. "Hey!" Elias shouted over the wind. "Can you hear me?" She flinched at his voice, pressing herself against the cold steel wall. She didn't respond, only stared, terrified. Elias knelt, trying to seem smaller. "I'm not going to hurt you. You're freezing." No reaction, just a faint trembling. He sighed, removed his jacket, and wrapped it around her shoulders. Her skin felt unnaturally smooth, like warm glass. "Let's get you out of the rain," he muttered, lifting her gently. She was light, almost weightless, like carrying mist. When he brought her into his quarters, she winced at the artificial light, curling up on the floor as if the glow hurt her. "It's okay," he said softly. "You're safe now." She didn't answer. She didn't even seem to understand his words. When he handed her water, she stared at it, confused, then cautiously touched the liquid, watching it bead off her skin like oil. Elias realized, with a mix of awe and dread, that he might be the first human to ever see her kind. Middle, the girl without a name. Over the next few days, Elias tried everything to communicate. She didn't speak, didn't eat, didn't sleep in a normal way. Instead, she'd sit near the vent heater, eyes half closed, as if drawing warmth through her skin. He started calling her Luma, because of the faint light that glowed under her skin when she was calm. Sometimes, when he spoke, she'd tilt her head as if trying to mimic his tone. He'd point to objects, say their names slowly: cup, table, hand. She'd repeat the sounds in a fragile, musical whisper. Progress was slow, but she was learning. One morning, Elias found her tracing the frost on the window, fascinated. "Outside," he said. "That's outside." She looked at him, cold. "Outside." He grinned. "That's right. Cold." Her progress warmed something in him he hadn't felt in years. Since the war, since the loss of his research team, Elias had lived alone, repairing machines that didn't talk back. Luma's presence made his silent life feel human again. But something was off. Every time he mentioned bathing, to clean her properly, she'd freeze. Her silver eyes would darken, and her bioluminescence dim to nothing. He assumed she didn't understand, until the night she broke down. The breakdown. Elias had been working in the lab when Luma wandered into the washroom. He heard the sound of water running. Startling, since he usually avoided it. "Luma," he called out. No answer. When he entered, she was standing by the tub, staring into the steaming water. Her hands trembled. The glow under her skin flickered wildly like a dying star. He approached carefully. "It's just water. It won't hurt you." Her voice came out broken and hollow. "Water burns." He frowned. "No, not this. It's clean. See." He dipped his hand into it. "It's safe." But she didn't move. Her body was rigid, her eyes distant, haunted. Then, without warning, she stepped forward and sank into the water. For a moment, everything was still, until she screamed. Her cry wasn't human. It was a piercing resonance that made the lights flicker. She thrashed, clutching her head as the water around her shimmered with light and energy. "Luma!" Elias shouted, grabbing her. But as he touched her, visions burst through his mind, blinding flashes of alien symbols, cities of crystal, and a world drowned in storms. He pulled her out, both of them collapsing on the floor. She trembled violently, whispering words he couldn't understand. Then, softly, "They took us. They burned us. In water." Elias froze. "Who?" She looked at him with tearless eyes. "Humans." Middle, the hidden truth. When she finally calmed down, Elias sat beside her, wrapped in silence. "Luma," he said gently, "you have to tell me what happened." She stared at the wall, voice trembling. "My world. Karen. We did not fight. We sang. Our energy was peace." She touched her chest. "We glowed brighter when we shared warmth. But then ships came. Machines with eyes of fire. Humans." Elias's stomach turned. "That's impossible. We never." But he stopped himself. He knew humans had raided colonies decades ago, capturing species for scientific testing. Some of those records were buried after the treaty. "They took us," she continued. "Said we were beautiful, but wrong. They put us in tanks. Said they needed to learn how we shined." Her voice cracked. "They filled the tanks with water. The glow faded. My sister stopped moving." Elias felt sick. He'd worked for the Federation once. He'd built containment systems meant for non-human study. And now one of his creations, his designs, had been used to torture her kind. "You escaped," he whispered. She nodded faintly. I ran until my name broke." That's why she didn't remember. That's why she had no identity left. He looked at her differently now, not as a lost alien, but as a survivor. The connection. Days turned into weeks. Luma began to heal, not physically, but emotionally. She learned to laugh, a soft melodic sound that filled the cold metal walls with warmth. She started drawing with his tools, patterns that resembled constellations. One evening, while fixing a solar converter, Elias heard her humming. The sound made the air itself vibrate. "What's that song?" he asked. She smiled faintly. "Home." When she sang, faint orbs of light appeared, floating gently around her. Elias stared in awe. "You create energy when you sing." She nodded. "Life answers song. It remembers love." He couldn't explain it, but every note felt alive, like her voice carried a frequency that the universe itself recognized. But their peace didn't last long. The conflict. A Federation-reckoned drone landed near Theta 9 one night, scanning the area for biosignatures. Luma sensed it first, the hum in the air, the tremor underfloor. "They found me," she whispered. Elias cursed under his breath. No, they can't take you again." He rushed to his terminal and jammed the signal grid, but the drone had already transmitted data. Reinforcement would arrive within hours. Luma looked at him with calm acceptance. "You can't hide me. You will be punished." He gripped her shoulders. "Then I'll leave with you." She blinked, shocked. "You would leave your world." He nodded. "You don't deserve what we did to you. I won't let them repeat it." She hesitated, her voice trembling. "If you follow me, you may never come back." He smiled softly. "Then I'll finally see something worth not coming back for." Climax. The flight. They escaped under the cover of stormlight, sprinting across the mining dunes toward the hangar. Federation ships descended like Black Hawks, their spotlights cutting through the mist.